How Religion Philosophy Moderates Ethical Behavior, a comparison between the Christian Ten Commandments and the Wiccan Rede. Most religions offer a guideline to ethical and moral behavior for the followers of the belief. Two vastly different belief systems are Christianity and witchcraft. One could say opposite ends of a spectrum in their moral guidelines. Christianity lays out exactly how an individual should act, while witchcraft gives a general guideline open to a variety of interpretations. In Christianity, Moses, approximately 13th century BCE, freed the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Moses led them to Mount Sinai to hear God's commandments. These commandments are: 1. Worship no God but me. 2. Do not make for yourself images in heaven or on earth or in the water under the earth. Do not bow down to any idol or worship it, because I am your God and I tolerate no rivals. I bring punishment on those who hate me and on their descendants down to the third and fourth generation. But I show my love to thousands of generations to those who love me and obey my laws. 3. Do not use my name for evil purposes, for I, the Lord your God, will punish anyone who misuses my name. 4. Observe the Sabbath and keep it holy. You have 6 days to do your work, but the seventh day is a day of rest dedicated to me. On this day no one is to work, neither you, your children, your slaves, your animals, nor the foreigners that live in your country. In 6 days I, the Lord, made the earth, the sky, the seas, and everything in them. But on the seventh day I rested. That is why I, the Lord, blessed the Sabbath and made it holy. 5. Respect your father and your mother, so that you may live a long time in the land that I am giving you. 6. Do not commit murder. 7. Do not commit adultery. 8. Do not steal. 9. Do not accuse anyone falsely. And 10. Do not desire another man's house. Do not desire his wife, his slaves, his cattle, his donkeys, or anything else that he owns. Christianity gives further clarification of the commandments in Exodus chapter 20 through 23. These laws further define acceptable behavior for the followers of Christianity in areas of altars, slaves, violent acts, responsibilities of owners, repayment of debt, moral and religious laws, justice and fairness, seventh year and seventh day, the great festivals, promises from God, and general instructions. The Ten Commandments give everyone clear boundaries on what is right and what is wrong. A person knows immediately how their conduct will be judged under Christian ethics the moment they do something. I feel the Ten Commandments are like a dictatorship stringently restricting all behaviors. This limits free will. We aren't allowed to make a mistake, because the instant you do something wrong, God will smite you, and not just you, but the next 3 or 4 generations. From the writing in the Bible, it sounds like God is very vengeful. Looking at the other end of the philosophical spectrum, there is paganism. One of the largest traditions in paganism is Wicca. Wicca is a nature-based religion in which usually both God and goddess are worshipped equally, or with more emphasis put on the goddess role. There are many forms of Wicca practiced in the pagan community. Some of them are Gardnerian, Alexandrian, Dianic, Fairy, and Strega Wicca. Each of these traditions follows a specific belief system. Gerald Gardner and 2 of his students set up Gardnerian and Alexandrian Wicca. These tend to be more traditional and hierarchical. Dianic is the path focused mainly on the goddess and is typically female-oriented, almost to the exclusion of men. Fairy Wicca focuses on nature spirits. Strega Wicca has been handed down usually through the mothers in Italian families, and they emphasize herbal knowledge. Modern-day Wicca is believed to be founded by Gerald Gardner, who was supposed to belong to one of the few remaining covens in England in the 1950s. The coven was purported to have had members going back generations. Doreen Valiente, author of Witchcraft for Tomorrow and Rebirth of Witchcraft, studied under Gardner and is considered a founder of modern Wicca. These two were instrumental in bringing witchcraft back to the public notice after the witchcraft laws were repealed in England. Many Wiccans, however, believe Gerald Gardner only brought out the old traditions. They believe the rituals and practices date back as far as the Neolithic and Paleolithic times. However, there is no written evidence of this because traditions were handed down orally due to the persecutions during the witch hunts. Basic Wiccan philosophy consists of two parts, the Rede and the Rule of Three. In general, the two basic beliefs are the guidelines most Wiccans adhere to. However, there are smaller traditions in paganism that are more complex ethical systems. The Wiccan Rede states, By ye the Wiccan law you must, in perfect love and perfect trust. 8 words the Wiccan Rede fulfill, and it harm none, do what you will. Lest in self-defense it be, ever mind the rule of three. Follow this with mind and heart, merry meet and merry part. This is usually shortened to, and it harm none, do what you will. According to Marion Green, in A Witch Alone, 13 Moons to Master Natural Magic, the word "an" comes from Old English and means in order that. Furthermore, none, she states, entails everyone and everything, and will means to come from your true inner self and not just from a spur-of-the-moment emotion. The word "read" is derived from Old English rodan, which means to guide or direct. Many believe Gerald Gardner wrote the Wiccan Rede. It is believed his sources include Francois Rabelais, Pierre Louis, and Aleister Crowley as summarized. In 1534, Francois Rabelais' book, Gargantua, stated, Do as thou wilt, because men that are free, of gentle birth, well-bred, and at home in civilized company, possess a natural instinct that inclines them to virtue and saves them from vice. This instinct they name their honor. This quote inspired Pierre Louis's The Adventure of King Paschal, which is why some believe the origins of the Rede come from Good King Paschal, because it states, Do no wrong to thy neighbor, observing this, do as thou pleasest. In Crowley's The Book of the Law, he states, Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. However, there is no clear-cut proof of when it was created. St. Augustine, circa 354 to 430 BCE, historically is quoted saying, Love and do what you will. Even earlier, ancient Egyptians believed there is no part of me that is not of the gods. To further clarify the Wiccan Rede, many practitioners utilize the rule of threes, which states whatever energy you send out comes back to you threefold. Any good or bad you do will come back to you 3 times as good or bad. This is very similar to the Eastern belief of karma. With the Wiccan Rede, it is more free will than the Christianity beliefs. It is based on the energy you put into the universe. If you do harm, you will be punished in good time. Future generations are not punished for your deeds. This makes individuals following this philosophy responsible for their actions. However, it does not give specific guidelines for conducts of behavior. It is up to the individual to decide what is morally acceptable. It doesn't clarify to whom or what the term harm none means. The Jains believe you harm absolutely nothing, restricting their eating habits to only leaves and fruits. They believe it is bad karma to kill the smallest creatures, even insects. Christianity and Wicca are similar in that both philosophies instruct followers to show respect for others. Christianity commands its followers to respect parental, divine, and legal authorities. Christianity gives specifics on the conduct parishioners must engage in on the most basic aspects of their lives. Wiccans learn to distance themselves from their initial reaction in most situations and think through how their own actions and responses to the situation will affect the bigger picture. Personal responsibility is a key tenet in Wiccan beliefs. There are many obvious differences in these two philosophies. Christianity believes there is only one God. In the Wiccan belief, there is a variety of beliefs varying from no deity to many gods and goddesses, or goddesses with male consorts. In an early tradition of the Church, many felt there should be no images on earth showing God. Conversely, Wicca tradition often uses a variety of images. Christianity was originally meant only for free men. Women were considered chattel and often not allowed to participate in celebrating the religion. Contrasting this, women are considered priestesses or leaders of most Wiccan traditions. Wiccans feel everything is sacred and should be treated that way, while Christianity considers only God and his Sabbath day to be holy. These two philosophies show the two extremes in religious ethical guidelines. Christianity goes to the extreme of regulating every minute detail of parishioners' lives, including how, when, where, and what they should worship. Christianity guides its followers on daily behavior and thoughts, including instructing them to not covet what other people have. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Wiccan Rede and Rule of Threes leaves too much room for interpretation by followers. This often leads to fracturing of groups or covens because of differing views on how to follow the most basic of tenets.